If you don't mind me asking, is this the first episode, or am I just in the first group of episodes?
No. This is the first episode. So
Wow.
This will be the first one that goes out. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome.
And,
well,
and I wanted to get you in, right? Because it's all good. I wanted to get you on because I was like, right, I need someone who's going to make it easy for me, right? Someone who's going to just be able to take it away and make this really good and make me look good on the first episode. So.
Careful. Now that I understand what your goals are, it might fall through, but no, we can make it easy. And I always enjoy a conversation with you, Dan. So I'm really glad that you had me on.
No, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So, I mean, like the main thing that I wanted to speak to you about is Tonic. I use Tonic almost every single day with work. Every customer site I go to, I use Tonic. I find it so good to explain to lay people like this is what's happening, and to be able to visualize it. It's just the best thing for that. So good.
I'm super glad to hear that. You know, the product is new enough that I mean, I've got several loyal users at this point, like people that I know about that use it regularly, and you're definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard like I haven't seen like that mass adoption thing happen yet. And sometimes I like have that little bit of doubt, like, man, do we build something that people actually want or not? Like, it's hard to tell. So to hear you say that you use it on every job site, man, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, without fail. And it's a bit annoying because now I have to take a Windows laptop everywhere with me.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Oh yeah, anytime. Happy to help. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the thing that like I said, the main thing for me with it is the ability to show someone, you know, because the thing has always been with wireless, right, is that it's invisible. You can't see it. You can't see what's going on. And so being able to just open up a laptop and say, hey, this is exactly what's happening right now on your network live. I think, you know, it just blows their mind that they're like, oh, cool. Okay, great. You know, they can see all the stuff that's happening. They can see even just down to like how many devices are attached to which APs on what band they're attached. You know, the fact that they can see this, you know, the spectrum is much, much busier on 2.4 than on 5. It just helps to build that picture of kind of what you're trying to explain to them as you're designing something for them or troubleshooting their site. That's
really cool
awesome
to hear, because, and I feel like that kind of goes along with kind of classic Metageek values in that, you know, Ryan originally, when he founded Metageek, I think it's been 16 or 17 years ago now. It's been a long time. The first product was a low-cost spectrum analyzer. And so it was a very visual product from the get-go. And after finding major success with a low-cost spectrum analyzer, Ryan kept focusing on visuals. You know, whether that was a visual Wi-Fi scanner, which Insider 2 being the first Wi-Fi scanner to do like that, I don't know, that visual graphical layout, that visual spectrum view. I kind of see it as like a poor person's spectrum analyzer almost, because it's like, you know, you can see where he kind of took the lessons he learned from spectrum and applied it to Wi-Fi scanning. And then with the pie charts and stuff in IPA, like Ryan's always been about visualizing stuff. In fact, for a long time, our trademark was visualize your wireless landscape. I think we still have that trademark, but and so I'm really glad to hear that that's exactly what Tonic ended up being for you, is like a tool to help you visualize what's going on and show people what's happening. That's so exciting to me.
It totally is. And it's amazing seeing almost like the light bulb go on for clients, kind of when, you know, you've been explaining these things, you show them like a flat report and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't quite do it. And then, so what I've started doing now is screen recording the screen when I've been doing certain things, and then I'll actually have it as part of my playback. So because, you know, the one thing that it doesn't do at the moment is record the spectrum data, does it, in Tonic? Yeah. So, so to get around that, I've been doing the screen recordings whilst on site live, and then using those in my playback sessions with the clients to explain, in this area, this is what I was seeing. You can see that this particular client has got loads of retries, and, it's because it's right out on this cell edge, and just so good. Yeah, so good.
And I'm super glad to hear that. I love hearing about this. It just makes me feel really good because, I don't know. It's just cool to find out that something that you built is, and to be clear, it was me and a big team. Well, not a big team, but a team of people. Like, it was a bunch of people that made this happen. And it's going to be really exciting to relay that back to everybody and let them know that, like, hey,
oh no, yeah,
people like it. It worked. So
yeah, totally, yeah. So where did the inspiration come from? Where did what was it that you looked at what Metageek already had and you said, this is good, but where did that come from?
So it actually goes back quite a ways. So back when I was at Metageek the first time, probably somewhere around 2016 or 2017, one of my favorite tools at the time was the Fluke Air Check. Absolutely. In fact, I have my Air Check right here. Here's my Air Check G1. Have it, love it. I still use this if I go on site. Like, this is in my pocket. There's something about the Fluke Air Check that I think is really special. I don't think that NetScout or NetAlly have really. I don't know if any of their marketing materials say this, but it's based on packets. You notice how snappy it is, like how quick it is. I think it's basically doing full packet capture, right? And so way back when I was at Metageek the first time around, I joined in 2012 as a tech support guy and left in 2017 and went to Ekahau. But 2016, 2017, I put a bunch of tickets in the backlog to build a packet-based Wi-Fi scanner that was definitely influenced by the AirCheck. Now there were some major roadblocks. One of them was that we didn't have a cheap way to get packets in Windows. All we had at the time was the Riverbed Air PCAP NX, which is a 2x2 802.11n USB adapter, which was $700. It was incredibly expensive. So I put a bunch of tickets in the backlog, of this idea of a packet-based Wi-Fi scanner. And then I left. And while I was gone, Ryan went through the backlog and he built it. He did it. He found a way to get packets for cheap on Windows. And he built Insider 5. And Insider 5, it actually is it runs in two modes. It can either be just a Wi-Fi scanner. So if you don't have one of our supported PCAP adapters, it'll just be a Wi-Fi scanner. But if you plug in one of the supported PCAP adapters, and if several conditions were true, like you had to have our subscription-based feature unlock for it, and you had to click on the right things to kind of drill down into a client on it, it would actually do we don't call it packet capture over there. We call it packet analytics, which is pretty close to what I think the AirCheck does or did. I haven't really used an AirCheck G2, much less an Etherscope NXG or anything like that. So I don't know what those can do, to be honest. But yeah, he built that. And so then I came back and I loved what Insider 5 could do. But I think it had a bit of a positioning problem where most people just didn't realize the potential that it had. And it also didn't show you any of the packet stuff up front. It wasn't super upfront that it was doing packet capture. So Tonic was born out of that. I was I basically started thinking through this, I want to refocus on enterprise. I want to refocus on Wi-Fi pros. Insider 5 could grow to do that, or we can kind of break ties with that. Maybe look into refocusing Insider on just being a Wi-Fi scanner in the future. But what can we do? What can we build that would be like a live IPA, basically? And that's where the original idea for Tonic came from.
That. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, because I think my first interaction with Metageek was definitely IPA, seeing IPA, and I think I've said this a few times. I use this utility on Mac called Daisy Disk, where it gave you a breakdown, much like IPA does in terms of this thing into this thing into this thing. Yeah, and I saw that and I was like, this is amazing. Like this is like packet analysis for made easy, right? Like this is packet. And the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, this is exactly what people should be using. This is so cool. So to have a live version of that, I think that's why I kind of just jumped on it straight away, right? And I think like, so I always used to use IPA almost like to filter down things easily to then bring into Wireshark, right? That was one of my main things for doing it. And so now you kind of sorted out the first problem, which was getting the packets in the first place and making sure that you're getting the information that you actually wanted, right? Because there's nothing more frustrating than doing a packet capture and then being like, oh, yeah, I haven't actually got what I needed.
We missed it. Yeah. And that problem is one of the things that we tried to solve with Tonic. And I think we did. Maybe, I don't know, you can tell me whether we did or not. Yeah. But
no,
so
totally did,
with most packet capture tools, the way that it works is you basically say, I want to capture on channel 36. You click start and it shows you a packet counter, how many packets you've captured, maybe a file size and a capture duration. One thing that we did that really Ryan did with Insider 5 is Insider 5 would show you a packet count. Like the packet count pane is in Insider 5. If you kind of jump through all those hoops and get the subscription and all that, get the subscription and all that stuff. But we kind of took it to the next level with Tonic, where it gives you a list of all the packets that you've captured within basically a certain time frame. So you can say, show me how many packets we've captured in the last 2 minutes, but not just how many packets we've captured, but how many of those were authentication requests, how many of those were EP frames, how many of those were data frames, how many of those were ACKs. And I just love sitting there watching that list of packets grow and shrink as the device wakes up and probes and gets unhappy and looks for a new AP to connect to. And I love it.
Yeah. So, and again, like going back to the thing that I love to be able to do with clients, right, is showing them the overhead on Wi-Fi. And I think your tool better than anything else shows that, right? I can bring up a client and I can show them that, 70% of the time it's control frames, right? And actually data is only 20% of the time, And that blows their mind, right? Because they just think, oh no, it's just my data that's going. And it's like, no. All this other stuff is scheduling when that data can and can't be sent, Yeah, it's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. It is pretty magical to sit there and watch how you'll have a network that's mostly management and control frames. And then all of a sudden you kick off like an iPerf test or something like that. All of a sudden this big blue, all the data frames show up and it's like, oh, okay, now we're actually using some airtime for data. So we definitely borrowed, we definitely improved on IPA's airtime visualization concept with Tonic. I think showing it in real time is it just takes it to a whole new level. And I absolutely love sitting there watching that pie chart work and seeing what it does. So it's pretty great.
That's awesome. Okay, great. So I think what would be really cool, because, there might be some people that maybe haven't seen it working in action. Is there anything that you can you kind of take us through a few bits and show us how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna attempt to share my screen here really quick. And you can tell me if it's working or not. Oh no, my monitor is too small to show the button to begin the screen share. So I have to move you to a different monitor. There we go. Now we can hit share. Okay, you tell me if it's working or not. Nice. I'm new to this tool, so
I can.
There we go.
I can see it.
Nice.
I can see it. We're all good.
Cool. Okay, so one thing you may notice is that Tonic always runs. It needs administrator permissions to run. The reason for that is we swap in a custom driver for the PCAP adapters. And so we've swapped the drivers in, and then when you leave, we swap the drivers back out. There's about 17 different adapters that we support. Like if you have an old, like an Ekahau SA1 adapter kicking around, those will work. And we support up to 3 of them at a time. So this view in the front here, this is kind of what I consider to be the front page of Tonic. It is basically a list of ESSIDs, and then you have a 2.4 gigahertz spectrum graph and a 5 gigahertz spectrum graph, and then some time graphs here along the bottom. So from here, you can basically just click on an ESSID that you want to check out. Now, before I do that, I want to point out these three indicators up here. I have 3 adapters plugged in right now, so it supports between 1 and 3. I personally think 2 is kind of what I recommend as a minimum. 2 is a good number.
Yep.
1, it'll work with just 1, but it's a bit hampered. And then 3 is, of course, the more the merrier. Right?
I use 3. I use 3.
You always use 3
and a DBX as well.
And a DBX as well. Awesome. Yeah, that's my standard configuration too. So you notice that we're actually counting which channel numbers we're on right now. So those 3 adapters have kind of split up the workload of sweeping all of the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz channels. So then if you watch the green one here, if I click on, I'm going to sort by how many radios I have on the network to keep it from jumping around. If I click on Joel's Enterprise Network, what you'll notice is that adapter number 1 is now only hopping between channel 36 and 157 because those are the channels that my ESS occupies. So I've got 2 APs that are on the same channel because one of them is a mesh AP out in the garage. And then I've got the one here in my office on channel 36. But meanwhile, the other 2 adapters, they continue sweeping the other channels. So what we're doing is kind of adaptive adapter management. That sounds terrible. We're doing automatic adapter management. So you don't tell Tonic which channel to capture on. It just manages that for you. So then from here, if you drill down to a specific AP, like let's go look at the office, then now notice that adapter number 1 focuses on channel 36. And so we're automatically managing which channel the adapters are on, so you don't have to. And it's just capturing everything on whatever channels the adapters happen to be tuned to.
Nice.
So, yeah. Questions, comments, anything? There's definitely more I could show, but I want to just give you a second here.
No, yeah, I think again, in terms of to that ease of management, that ease of capture thing, that automatic adapter management is what makes that. Right, it's so good that you don't have to know. You can just click. Oh, I want to see this channel. Oh, I want to see this client, and it's sorting all of that stuff out for you. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I really love it. So we're looking at the BS. This is called the BSSID view because we're looking at a specific BSS, and there's some info over here about the BSS, like. I've given mine an alias, so it's called Office because it's here in my office. But one thing I really love is we show you the airtime usage of this BSSID and also the airtime usage of the entire channel. So this is channel 36. So we're just everything on channel 36. So the gray always means the channel. Purple always means the object that you're looking at.
Nice.
And notice that we made it purple because IPA is the airtime tool, right? And it's all about purple. And also, if you happen to have a Wi-Fi DBX connected, we will also show you spectrum utilization on the channel as well. And that's always in red because, channelizer is red, right?
Yeah, awesome.
So I love being able to compare these, like it's a layer 2 measurement and a layer 1 measurement side by side.
Yep.
I absolutely love that. So
and again,
one thing that's coming...
Showing that...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. And again, showing that to customers is amazing, and being able to explain to them the difference between layer 1, layer 2, right? This is what's happening, and you can see it in real time.
Oh, I love it. I love that you use that to show customers. That's like a dream come true, Dan. That's what you end up using it for. It's so perfect. I love it. One other thing I'm going to add here, we have a ticket in to do this, is I'm going to add the QBSS load IE here as well, and it'll be blue, so that amazing. I'm excited to get that in there. I'm excited to see it. So, yeah. Okay, so from here, I'm actually going to back up and go look at a different network because I want to show you like a demo device. So I'm going to go look at my Mist.
Quick question on the access point name that you had. You said you typed an alias in there. I know that what you mean by that is that you've gone in and you've typed that in. Are you able to pull out the device name from the beacon? Or?
Yeah. Yep, we absolutely can. In fact, I didn't even know that it did this because there is some code in here from Insider 5. So Ryan had some of this stuff working already. Oh, there went my camera. It'll be back in a minute. It just likes to do that. So, I'm sure Shetil from, shoot, he's Norwegian, right? He's in Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
We did a webinar a couple weeks ago.
Me second guess now.
Yeah, I know. I was second guessing myself, especially when I'm on camera. So, Anyway, he actually showed me how he went and turned on the AP broadcast in his Cisco infrastructure, and Tonic instantly updated it with the name. And so it actually replaced the MAC address with the names from his Cisco infrastructure. And I was like, I didn't even know it would do that. So it was pretty great. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So yeah, I don't know how many vendors we support, because it's one of those things that like Ryan has gotten in there and added some support for some of them. And I don't even know which ones, and we don't have it documented. But if you would like your vendor to be supported, we can do it.
Yeah, I know that Cisco and Mist work.
They do work.
The ones
cool.
I use. Yeah, Cisco, Meraki, Mist, they all work. So for me, it's
nice.
Good.
Nice. Okay. Good to know. And Meraki, I didn't know about that one. So that's really good to know. So cool. Well, so what we're looking at right now is we're looking at my Mist infrastructure, and I just got my old 2013 Nexus 7 here. This is my very old Android tablet that I'll never let go. It's like my one Android device that's remaining in the house at this point, but I just love it. So what I'm going to do with it is click on it to drill down into just that device. So first thing you'll probably notice is we get a pie chart of airtime usage between the client and the AP. So you can see we're about a third management overhead. There's some probe responses and probe requests in here. We've got control frames, some RTS, CTS, block acknowledgements, and some QoS data frames. And we also count up, here's that packet counts pane that I was talking about, where you can see in real time. It's basically looking at a 2-minute sliding window. In fact, we can maybe just for fun, we'll bump this all the way up to 10 minutes to show everything that we have. But these are all the frames that we have captured between this AP and client. So then over here is the packet events view. So this shows us any events that have happened to the client. And what I can do, this is my favorite party trick with Tonic, is if I turn Wi-Fi off, notice that we caught a disassociation frame. And then curiously, the client, after Wi-Fi was turned off, after it disassociated, notice that it actually sent some probe requests. What's that all about? So it sent a bunch of probe requests. I'm not sure why. Like, your Wi-Fi's off. What are you doing? I don't know. A bunch of probe requests. I don't know, maybe the Android people out there can tell me why. Why? But I mean, it's a super old Android device too, so who knows? So if I turn Wi-Fi back on, you saw the probe request counter go up. We saw the association. We saw our handshake, and then some more probe requests. So you can see in real time what the client is doing. And then over here in the packet counts pane, check it out. We captured the authentication, association request and response. We got 3 out of the 4 of the handshake. So we didn't get the whole handshake. And then we got an ad block acknowledgement request and response as well. So real time, you know you captured it because you can see it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop talking amazing. For a second and let you talk.
No. Like, this is what I love, right? And the fact that you can also see all of these things as they happened in that client's view as well, right? So you give all those icons that say, hey, we noticed a roam, we noticed dissociation, we noticed probe request, all these things. It's so great that you get to see that, here in the events pane, right? Which is awesome again. I think so again, taking it from here, you can then open it directly in IPA or directly in Wireshark as well, right?
Yeah. So there's actually 2 ways to get packets out. Well, maybe first, before we talk about that, can we talk about the packet flow view? What do you think of it? What do you think of the packet flow view? I'm really curious to see.
Oh, I love this so much.
Really?
I love this so much. Because again, when you're trying to explain to someone how something works, being able to just pull this pane up, right, and be like, so everything on the left is the AP, everything on the right is the client. So the AP has done this, the client has done this in response, then the AP has done this, then the client has done this in response. And being able to kind of show that packet flow, right? So from here to here to here to here. It's so great. And you know, even for someone like me, right, being able to go in and be like, right, what is actually happening here? Open that up and you can just see what's going on. So, you know, I can see 1 and 2. I can't see 3 and 4. So what's going on?
Yeah. My hypothesis when I designed this view was most of the time you just want to know what frame went what direction, and and if there's a retry, there's a little retry flag. How, you know, what was it a retry? And maybe you would want to know the data rate that it was sent at, maybe. And so we just kept it really simple, and that's that. Can I tell the story of where this came from? Like where the packet flow visualization came from? Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so you've taken Wi-Fi training boot camps of many kinds, I'm sure, right? You've been to like a CWAP boot camp, you've been to a Peter McKinsey class, you've been to an Eddie Ferrero class, something like that, right? They always, in all these Wi-Fi training classes, they always draw packet flow diagrams. They say like, okay, let's take a look at, you know, how like a fast transition works. This says this says this, and then this, and then this, you know, how does a 4-way handshake work? And they draw a little packet flow back and forth. And so one night I was troubleshooting an issue. I think it was for Insider 5. Like, I don't know, something was broken. It was parsing something incorrectly. I don't even remember. But I was looking at Wireshark and I was trying to track who the transmitter and who the receiver were. And Wireshark just shows you a transmitter column and a receiver column. And if you dig around the ethers file, you can label those, but it's still a pain. And I was like, what? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why don't we just draw the diagram for the user? And so I mocked up something in Sketch really fast. Sketch is like a little graphics editor for Mac OS. And I sent it to Ryan. And I don't know if it was the next day or the day after, but like he basically stayed up late one night and got it working in IPA. And so IPA had a packet flow diagram, and it was janky and it was awful, but it totally proved the concept. And we were like, we need to use this. So anyway, that's the story of where the packet flow came from.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome.
I'm really glad you like it.
And what I love, right?
Pretty stoked.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, you know, so you've clicked on there the security handshake event. It's pulled up the packet flow, right? And then it's like, okay, I want to save that, and it's just there. There's no like, you don't know how happy that makes me. It's just like, bink, there you go, it's saved, and now I've got that, which is that's awesome.
So you can hit the little export button, just so everybody else knows. And you can hit send to Wireshark, send to IPA. If you have OmniPeak, basically these are grayed out if they're not installed. And OmniPeak I don't have installed. I've actually never used that feature before. I put that in there for Peter McKinsey, and I don't even know if he's used it. But Peter, it was just for you, man. That's 100% for you. You didn't even ask for it, but I put it there. But basically, it just takes this little event and packages it up and sends it over to Wireshark. So if you want to do, there's a new version of Wireshark. So if you want to do deeper analysis on it, you could just get it over to your favorite tool in a couple of clicks. So it's pretty, I love it. I thought it was pretty cool. But the moment that I realized that it mattered was when I was watching Shedil. He would just like open it up, save Wireshark, open it up, save Wireshark. Like he would just click. Yeah. It was like, when I saw that it was reflexive for him, I was like, okay, yes, that is a good feature. It was a good idea. People like it. So that felt really good. So, yeah.
No, it was, awesome. And another one of these events that I use quite a lot is the association one. Because you also then will give the client capabilities on the client as well, won't you?
Yes, you will. So down here at the bottom of the client details pane, it's kind of hidden down there. But right now, it's very simplistic. I actually have a PCAP file on my desktop where, you know the WLAN, the profiler, the client profiler for the WLAN Pi? where you can, the WLAN PI will function as a fake access point. You associate a client to it. The association fails, but it doesn't matter. The client tells us what its capabilities are in the association request. I want to mirror that functionality in Tonic. So I actually have a PCAP sitting on my desktop right now and a note sitting in my notes application that the next thing I'm going to do today is go write a ticket for that and get that put in. There's a mock-up for it already. I just don't have a development ticket in for it. But I want to show like what channels. The big one I want to see is which channels does the device support?
Yeah.
Or even better, which channels does the device not support? Right? Because that's what we care about.
Totally.
So
yeah. That and for me, like one of the main things that I use quite a lot, because I've got the WLAN Pi and I use Profiler all the time. One of the other main things that I use it for is the 802.11 KVNR support. Do they support those amendments? I'm trying to remember. That into your ticket, please.
Well, I think it might. Let me go look and see really quick if it's there already. Because somebody asked me about this a couple of days ago. So here's my iPhone 12, and notice that we don't have any capabilities yet because we haven't captured the right frame. So I'm going to go, again, Joel's favorite party trick. Wi-Fi off, Wi-Fi back on, and let's see if that populates. It should. There we go. Yeah, okay, so we don't say anything about 802.11k R&V. We really should. Mm-hmm. I think Germund wanted that too. Yeah, I think a couple days ago he was like, you need to do that. So... yeah, I'll get that in as well, just for you, Dan, and Germund. Yeah, there's two of you that want it. Well, three, because I want it too. So, yeah. Yeah, so awesome. Maybe one other thing I'll show off in Tonic. Yeah. Oh, there's like a bunch of things I'd love. I could just make this a giant, stupid sales demo if I'm not careful, so I gotta be careful to not make it too salesy. But one other thing that we did in Tonic is we mentioned the Y-Spy DBX. I absolutely love the channels view. Well, what do you think of the channels view, Dan? You're the user, not me. What do you think of it?
No. I like hearing your because there's always things that I miss, right, as a user. So I like you explaining it because I go, oh yeah, I hadn't thought on it on that, kind of way or whatever. But again, what I like about this view for me is the fact that we have the spectrum utilization and the airtime usage on each of these channels, right? So again, layer 1, layer 2, love that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I've always wanted to have a layer 1 and layer 2 measurement right next to each other. I'm also a big fan of the little scan dot here that shows you which channel the adapter is currently on. I think it's just really fun to watch. So it's like a little arpeggio or something like that. I don't even know, but it's fun to look at. I don't know if it's actually useful, but it's definitely fun to look at. Well, one of the things again on this one that I use quite a lot is that highest airtime on the channels. That's really useful, because again, if I'm on site with a client, I'm trying to troubleshoot a particular problem. Being able to just open up this view and go, oh right, okay, well I can see that it's actually not your network that's causing all this high utilization. It's actually, the people downstairs or the people upstairs or the people over the road. Do you know what I mean? Again, that's just really useful. Yeah.
This is a Ryan idea, is just listing who is the highest airtime usage. So channel 36, lo and behold, a big surprise. It's me, at 11.3%. So, another thing we do too is we actually color in the ziggurats based on the airtime usage. So if it's a more solid fill, this is something that's I haven't really broadcasted anywhere. Another Ryan idea. Yeah.
I did not know that. There you go.
Yeah.
See,
so
told you. If you tell me things, I find out stuff.
Yeah. So see how there's a hidden SSID on the Coda C150 here. And you can actually see on channel 6 that one of those ziggurats has got some very light fill on it, so you can tell which one it is. So I think that's pretty cool. Did you know that there's a LAN scanner in here as well?
I did know that. Yes, I did.
Do you ever use it?
Very cool. I have used it. I haven't.
Really?
I don't think I've ever used this at a client site, to be fair.
Okay.
Very few clients allow me onto their corporate network, but I have used this at home.
Yeah. To be honest, Dan, home is the only place it's going to work right now because we only currently support /24s. So like if you're on a /16 or something like that, it won't work. So we'll fix that at some point. It'll get fixed. But yeah, I like it at home. Nice. It's really just convenient to see like what is on my network. And I love, again, this is another Ryan idea. Ryan's got so many great ideas that are in here. I lobbied to have little envelopes as icons. Like that's a Joel idea, is little envelopes for packets, right? If you see an envelope icon, that means it's a packet. That's a Joel idea right there. But Ryan put useful stuff in here. Like if we click on Joel's MacBook Pro, check it out. It's 192.168.1.176. Like he had the idea of like taking the Wi-Fi stuff and the network layer stuff and bring it all together. And I think it's so cool. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I've got a lot of time for stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you want to see the one new feature in Tonic 1.2.x that is not out yet?
Do I ever? Okay.
So it currently makes the airtime graph blink at you, which is why 1.2.0 will never see the light of day. This one will not be released. We were going to release it last week and we were like, nope, we can't. So watch out. It's going to start strobing here because of that. But we just implemented the capture channels graph. So this shows you over the last 10 minutes what the capture adapters have been doing. So you can see adapter number one was on channel 44. Then it did some channel sweeping. Then it was on channel 36. Then more channel sweeping, and now it's back on channel 36. So, and of course, you can reorder it, with all the other graphs, just like before. So it's just another graph that you have available to you to keep an eye on what Tonic was up to.
That's great.
So yeah,
that's great. What are the what are the kind of next features? What are the things in the that bug you at the moment that you're kind of thinking, right, this is what we're going to sort next. This is the next thing we're going to do.
Yeah, great question. So one of the things that we're missing right now is in the spectrum views. In the spectrum view right now, one thing you can't do is you can't hide the network shapes. We call them ziggurats here. It's kind of funny. I don't know what else to call them. We call them ziggurats. I've heard people call them haystacks before. I don't know if that's better than ziggurats or not. But you can't hide those to get a clear look at the spectrum. So we want to put a button in here where you can hide the networks or bring them back. Also, there's no current trace in there. You know how in Channelizer you can do a current trace, a max trace, and an average trace? I think we need the current trace. I think we're going to leave the max and the average out just to keep things really simple and to keep things really fast. So that needs to go in. Also, I would love to have waterfall views in here. I think that having a waterfall / some people call it a swept spectrogram view, I think would be really, really good. And we actually want to do two of them. So we want to do one where the 5 gigahertz spectrum graph is here. So, but then you could flip between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. You could just basically look at or view them side by side too. I think we can do that. And then also the plan is down here in the time graphs. We also want to do a 10-minute horizontal spectrum waterfall. We're probably going to add do a 2.4 gigahertz one and a 5 gigahertz one, and you can just show and hide whichever ones you want. So those are coming up. Yeah. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah. No, waterfall was going to be one of the things I was going to say. It'd be really useful to have, a waterfall thing and like you say, along that time graph as well. So especially now that you've got these capture channel things along the top, it'd be great to have those across there too. I haven't tried this yet, but there are a few times when I've thought I'd really like to have that graph. I'd really like to have that client pie view without having to do a screenshot.
Yes.
Can you just drag them off yet? Or is that not something that's implemented yet? Okay.
It's not there yet, but that is on the list of features to implement. So notice up here next to on all the tables, there's always a little copy to clipboard button right there. Notice that? Yeah. So if we click on that, it takes the contents of the clipboard and then you can take it out to, whatever you want. And wow, apparently I was way zoomed. We can go back to I think I was showing my daughter something. We were talking about something.
Nice.
Anyway, I was using Notepad. But yeah, you can get that all out. One thing I'm curious about with the active clients table, I don't know if this will work, but in some cases, oh yeah, it will. So you can actually bring it out as an image as well. So this is something that Ryan told me that really surprised me. When you copy something to the clipboard, it brings it out as both an image and as text. And then when you paste it in, the receiving application decides whether it wants the text version or the image version. I did not know that. That was news to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. So in our other applications, like especially IPA.
Sorry, mate. Yeah? What I was going to say is, if you did that into Word, would it bring it through as text, or would it bring it through as an image?
I don't know, actually. We could find out. Wow, I have Word. I didn't even know I had Word. I had no idea that I had Microsoft Word on this. Oh, my subscription has expired. Will it let me do like one thing? Okay, most of the features of Word have been disabled. So I can't, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll try it and let you know.
Well, there's WordPad though, right? WordPad supports rich text. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look and see what Word actually does. So give it a try and let me know what happens. It'd be really interesting to know.
Okay, will do.
So the intention is this little copy to clipboard button. If you look in the mockups, like the wireframe mockups for Tonic, they're just absolutely everywhere in the application. I've just got them scattered all over the place. So the idea is like the airtime graph. If you wanted a copy of that, you could just hit the button, open up whatever, and hit paste, and bam, there you go. So would that do the trick? Would that kind of take care of the use case for you?
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
Rad.
Yeah, and actually, thinking about things like the pie. The pie chart. Yeah. Like I love your colors and how they work. My branding team at my company would be like, no, it has to be in our colors. So even if there was like a CSV thing, and then I could put it into a pie chart in my Word document that would then brand it the colors that we use, that would actually be quite helpful anyway. So it would be nice if you could get the data out both graphically and in a text, in a CSV. Interesting. Okay, let's be sure to talk about that, because I think that could be really, really interesting. So yeah, cool. Great.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn off the capture channels graph to see how it's making it strobe. So there, now it's fixed.
Yeah.
So hit me up with your questions, Dan. What do you want to know? What do you not yet know about Tonic that you'd like to know?
So I think there's a few things for me that I think I've probably already mentioned to you privately that I would like to see, right? So I love the automatic capture that you have. I think for me, in specific use cases, especially when I'm trying to do things like capture a roam or do this or that or the other, it'd be really useful to say, okay, I know that I'm between these two APs. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to see the roam between these two APs. Have one capture device on this channel, have another one on this channel, and help me capture that roam. Is that something you could do?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. So, I mean, we can obviously tell the adapters to do whatever we want. Obviously right now, Tonic is very focused on handling that for you automatically. But from an automation perspective, we're really, really interested in capturing those roams. So we just implemented a feature that's going to be in this release called client following, where you basically can go find your client. So, like we can go find, I love using my kids' iPods as examples. Daphne in particular, she is 7, and she generates an insane amount of roaming events with this iPod, because she's upstairs, she's downstairs, she's in the backyard, she's in the garage, she's in her room, she's just everywhere all at once. In fact, I did a little internal training video for Avik yesterday, and she helped me generate some roaming events in the video, which is pretty great. So thank you, Daphne, for that.
Nice.
But what we got working in this version of Tonic is if her iPod roams to like channel 36, we'll actually change the primary adapter channel to channel 36 to follow it over there. So that's step one.
Nice.
Step two to us is using the 2 extra adapters to try to anticipate where the client is going. Now, I think there's a couple of ways we could do that. Mm-hmm. We could look at the neighbor reports and say, what are the 2 most likely APs? We could also just look at the other APs, SNR and RSSI. And of course, the capturing machine would need to be close to the device that's going to roam to try to see from its perspective. But I think there's a possibility of us doing a decent job of trying to anticipate where the client is about to go and putting 1 or 2 adapters on that channel. And by the way, we can actually support 3 more adapters if we wanted to. We could do 6 in total with Tonic pretty easily. But that doesn't quite answer your question. Your question is, will you let me tell Tonic to lock an adapter to a specific channel? And while we haven't made any decisions about that, we've definitely been thinking about it. And I have some ideas about how we could do that from a UI perspective that I think we should look into. I think we should test it. And I think there's definitely a possibility of letting you like maybe kind of like temporarily lock an adapter to a channel. Would that work? Where it like for 10 minutes or so, like the adapter will just stay there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. No promises, but we will look into it.
For me.
Rad.
Great.
Rad.
So you mentioned Avik there.
Yeah.
You guys have just been acquired by them. What's the future hold for Metageek?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think the future is really bright. Avik. First off, I've been really impressed with Avik. They're obviously a bigger company than Metageek, but they've done a really fantastic job of making the team feel really welcome. They've been integrating us with the Avik team in very non-intrusive ways. Like the Metageek team is still very intact at Avik and working together. But like for example, Casey, our tech support guy, they've also been bringing him into the Avik technical support fold. And, helping him kind of get started over there and preparing to offer him assistance with Metageek support and things like that. It's been really, really nice. They've done a really good job. Additionally, one thing that Ryan noticed is that Avik uses the exact same, like 90% overlap, the same tools that Metageek used. Like we're talking the same wiki tool, the same ticket management tool, the same chat tool. Of course, it's Slack, right?
Nice.
They use Google Workspace. Like it's all the same, and that has made us getting integrated into the Avik team really, really easy. Like for example, we just migrated all of our development tickets from the Metageek Jira to the Avik Jira, and it's like I didn't even switch Jiras. Like it's the same thing. So it's actually better now because we were able to get rid of a bunch of like old cruft and stuff that we needed to just drop. So all that to say that the integration of the Metageek and Avik teams has been very smooth. I'm really impressed with the Avik team. I've enjoyed working with them very much, and I'm really, really confident about Metageek having an excellent long-term home with Avik.
Nice. And I'm assuming that a lot of the reason why they brought you guys in was because they saw your expertise within wireless and wanted to add that to their system, to their platform, to their solution. So,
correct.
I mean, how do we see that working? Is that more along the lines of the Signify stuff that you had and less about the Tonic stuff, or is there a place for both?
Yeah, I think there's a place for both. So Signify definitely, we believe that Signify, and we haven't quite worked out all the details yet. This is all very much in flight right now, but we believe that Signify would be an even better product if it's coupled with the Avik network management platform. Those two things just make a lot of sense together. And so I don't know exactly what the plan is, right? Because we're still working through it. We're still discussing it. There's a lot of discussion around that. But I think we are going to see Signify live on as a feature of the Avik management platform, I think is what's going to happen. Now, as for Metageek Enterprise Suite, Tonic, Channelizer, IPA, they love Tonic. They want to push hard on Tonic. They want to keep developing on Tonic. There goes my camera. It just does that. But they want to keep pushing hard on Tonic. I'm sure that one of your next questions is, when is Tonic going to be on Mac? Was it coming? Is that going to be like the very next question?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was next up.
Can I just answer it for you now?
Yeah, sure, please.
We relayed that desire to Avik, and they said, absolutely. Like, feel free to start on that right away. Yes. So,
yes.
Ryan is currently evaluating various technology stacks. We've had a rough idea of how to do it for about 6 or 9 months now. Actually, it's been almost 12 months now that we've had a rough idea of how to do it. He's doing some last minute double checking and deeper research on it, with the goal of presenting that to the Avik team and saying, okay, all right, this is how we want to do it. But so far, Avik has 100. The only indicator that we've gotten from them is yes. Like, that's the indicator that we've received for Tonic for Mac OS.
Sweet.
Yeah. And
awesome.
Dan, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see it on Mac OS.
Yeah, same. Ooh,
yeah.
I'm getting excited now.
Yep.
I love it. Great. Well, Joel, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with me today going through this stuff. I'm super excited to see, where Tonic goes and how it works. Like, for me, I think it's almost like an essential part of my toolkit, so I can't understand why it wouldn't be an essential part of any Wi-Fi engineer's toolkit, right? For anyone that hasn't played with it, go and get a trial version, have a play, make sure you've got some adapters and stuff first, so that when you get it, you're getting the most out of it, right? But get hold of it. Is there like a 14-day trial, a 30-day trial? How does it work?
Yeah. There's a free 14-day trial. So basically, you download it, you install it. The first time you run it, your 14-day trial begins. And so, like Dan said, go to our knowledge base and check and see if you have 1 or 2 supported adapters. The one that I end up using the most, that it seems like everybody's got a couple laying around, is the Ekahau SA1/Comfast CF912 AC. They're the same thing.
That's what
Ekahau just white labeled them.
Yeah.
Those work great. I mean, it's only a 2x2 adapter, so I kind of prefer the Edimax 7833. I think is the 3x3 that we recommend. But anyway, go look at the supported adapters list and see if you've got a supported adapter there, and then fire up the trial. And also, if you need a little bit of a trial extension or something like that, hit us up at support@metageek.net, and we can get you sorted out. We can definitely get you a little bit longer trial, or if you accidentally burned up your trial waiting for an adapter to show up, we got you covered. Don't worry about it. We'll get you. So, yeah.
Totally give it a go, because it's awesome. Yeah. So again, thanks for taking the time to kind of show it to us and things like that. I've really enjoyed our chat. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for letting me give a little sales presentation on Tonic. Sorry if it was sales. Thanks for having me, Dan. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.